Hi all, I'd just like to do a video on young world champions. So this particular game is played by Petrosian and Petrosian-Flohr, and Flohr was a grandmaster and also a world title candidate, and he came to Petrosian's hometown of Tbilisi to play a simul, and at the time also Petrosian was 13 years old. So this was a very maturely played game by Petrosian. So let's just start and have a look at how Petrosian beat the grandmaster. So Petrosian kicked off with d4, knight of 6, c4, e5. So this is the Budapest gambit. Black gives up this pawn. For not that much compensation, and for that reason it's considered quite dubious. So Petrosian takes, knight g4. Now this is a good move, of course. It gains 2 pawns abreast in the centre like this, and forces this knight to move again. So, which it does. Knight g6. And this move is a mistake, in my opinion, from Flohr. He shouldn't have opened up the position for white. Instead, I think perhaps better was castle's kingside. And then castle's queenside or f5. Excuse me, sorry about that. Castle's queenside, say, bishop d7 and f5, knight ge5. After which black's position would still have been difficult, but not as bad as in the game. Here for it's suggesting bishop g5, attacking queen. I mean, also possible was simply f5 immediately, but I think actually I prefer it with castle's queenside. So, but to return to the game, he played f5. And Petrosian quickly gains an advantage. So, an exchange here. Of course, if the queen takes, then the bishop would be hanging. The bishop on e3. So b takes, knight takes, queen takes. Now this, of course, is a horrible blunder. As bishop g5 simply wins the exchange. Perhaps better was again castles, but then the pawn on f5 is under attack, but then the king may be susceptible to attack because of the open f diagonal. Also weaknesses around the king position, which is a natural consequence of f5. So perhaps simply, but castle's queenside simply loses material. So it is hard, but it's hard to suggest anything better for black, really. So Petrosian quickly wins the exchange. g4, so that's of course to protect this f5. knight a5, queen d5. Now this is a great move. Attacking the queen and the knight simultaneously. And sorry about this. Forcing the queen to exchange because of that. So he undoubles the pawns and also reduces the material, which is the right thing to do when you have a material advantage. So Flohr had to play queen takes, c takes. So this is another good move. Taking the 7th rank. Here. And attacking, excuse me, the g7 pawn. Sorry about this, I'm a bit inexperienced, but right. So another good move. So yes, g6 here was played. He simply took, so now he has a passed pawn. H takes, g7 attacking the rook, good. So now the H pawn is passed, it's got a clear path to the end. And the rook's in front of it, which is, and rooks usually belong behind passed pawn. So this is clearly winning here, but okay. So we played knight c4, but there's still technical difficulties. Rook to f1, rook h7, rook f4. Here on d takes, he might perhaps be giving black chances to get a defense going with here when he would have his own passer with the d pawn. Of course, white could easily stop this, but it's even more accurate to not even give him the chance to get a passed pawn. So now he's forced to take because of the threat of king c5 attacking the pawn. So he takes. Now he pushes the passed pawn. Now, of course, these two moves, rook b7, a6, they seem pointless, but black doesn't really have much that he can do. He's so tied down. Rook g5, another good technical move, pinning. Pinning the knight to the king. Now, let's just have a brief look at if he tries to escape with king to b6. One possible line here is rook f6, attacking this pawn here, except that then they would follow knight f7 and he holds everything. So and on rook d4, which looks like another tempting line, They would follow say king c7, and then what the best move looks to be c5, but on d takes the rook's on pre, so you can't take the knight. So that's also not correct. Probably simplest is just rook f to f5, and you're perhaps threatening c5 or king d4 or something like that in the future. But anyway, in the end he played a5. Rook f6, so placing pressure here, cementing the king into that spot. Okay, rook b7, h6, b1, rook h5. So another last accurate move, not allowing the rook to come in behind the passed pawn where it belongs. So check, k1, h7, and Flohr resigned because the passed pawn will queen. And there's no way of stopping this really. I mean, perhaps you could play check. Well, you can't play check because that's pinned. You could play rook takes a2 check if you really wanted, but there's no hope for black. So let's have a quick look in overview and summary here. It started off with a Budapest gambit, a dubious gambit by Flohr, but he won his pawn back, but with a loss of time. Then he gained space, and then Petrosian gained space in the centre and a slight advantage. Then Flohr blundered with pawn to f5, opening up the position in white's favour, which led to an exchange of pieces, and then a loss of material from Flohr after an arbitrary blunder. Just a very simple tactic after missing a very simple tactic. Petrosian maturely built up his position, first exchanging queens, then getting a rook on the 7th, and finally, at the end, a passed pawn. Black floundered for a little bit more, but Petrosian didn't allow his opponent a single free breath, and eventually after a few more moves, Flohr resigned. So I hope you enjoyed that. I may continue the series on the games that world champions played when they were young, or great players played when they were young. But so far this is just going to be a standalone video. Also, you might like to check out my blog, Chess Obsessed, at blogspot.com, which has an article which features this game on it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Comments and questions on YouTube. Thanks for watching.